Hey guys, has this lockdown made you lose track of your fitness goals? Are you starting your resolution for 2021 and you want to lose weight but need some help? Introducing my affordable workout plans for men and women. With packages starting at $5, this offer can't be beat. Go to radicallatino.com to find out more. Hey guys, do you have a product you want more eyes on? Advertise with the Radical Latino Show with over 10K podcast downloads and the number 25 spot on the 55 All Latin podcast list. You'll want your product heard on everyone's phones and cars. Go to radicallatino.com/contacts and start advertising today.
Playing the Radical Latino Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands in the air for New York's very own.
Latino is taking you to another level.
I think there's more radicals than Steve-O. Radical Latino, you're buffing it. The radical point of views, I think his views are actually more dangerous.
Hear that? It's like the pulse of the street. Hole of the chest.
Yo! Welcome back to another episode, my people. It's your host, the Radical Latino, aka number 17 on All Latin Podcasts, aka number 24 on All Bronx Podcast YouTube Influencer List, and Mr. Unsuable for 52 weeks running. What is going on? I hope everybody's doing great. Again, this podcast is sponsored by my merch store. So link down below, go to radicallatino.com and go to the merch spot, and you guys will pick out the merch that you want, and we'll just go to the straight, there's a link there, so you guys can go straight there. So I hope you guys enjoy some of the shirts and stuff. So yeah, this episode is sponsored by my merch store. Now, I hope everybody is doing great. I hope everybody's getting them shots. You know what I'm saying? I got mine. A couple of weeks ago, a good friend of mine passed away, unfortunately, and I just wanted to go and get it. You know what I mean? So definitely, I think everybody maybe should. I don't know. It's up to your own discretion, but I was totally against it until my homie passed away, and then that's when I said, nah, I gotta go. So, RIP to you, homie. Couple of updates. I launched a news site for my website, so you guys could probably get catched up on certain things that is happening around the world. A couple of things that is important to me. So definitely go to my website, radicallatino.com, and there's going to be a news section. You guys can go there and read a couple of articles that I post. I will be posting one or two articles in the morning and also one or two articles at night. So definitely keep tabs on that, on things that you guys want to be updated on, and I'm definitely going to be putting stuff out that's very important. Now also, I'm working with some new sponsors, so definitely look out for that. These new sponsors that I'm gonna be acquiring, I'm also hearing that they're gonna be working with other people you guys might know, so definitely very, very excited about that. Also, for those who don't know, I have a Twitch stream channel. I only live stream, so if anybody doesn't like the whole YouTube thing, I also got a Twitch channel, so go down there and subscribe to the Twitch channel and check out your boy. Now we're gonna read some comments from episode 153. If you guys want your comments read for next week, definitely come back to the YouTube joint, episode 154, and I will read your comments for next week. Now, Juan Rambo says, Radical Latino, you can do a weekly roundtable between Black Americans and Mexican Americans to discuss the tension between each other so they can have a better understanding of each other's group. Maybe Rancho and Pocho and Brotep and Sundown can discuss issues between. That is actually a very, very good idea. I'm mad that I didn't even heart this comment. That's a very, very good idea. I'm definitely gonna go into works with that. I don't know, and I highly doubt Rancho is gonna be even down to have a discussion with black folks on my platform. You know, me and him don't really see eye to eye, and it is what it is. You know, it's just difference of ideology and world view. You know, but I will be totally open and down for him to come in, and we could actually set that stuff up. I'll definitely do it, and I'll be unbiased if I do get the opportunity to do it. But I'll probably get some other people. You know what I'm saying? Pocha will definitely, I think, will be down for that. Or maybe I'll get somebody else. I don't know, but I think that's actually a great idea. The thing is that with this black and brown unity that I'm trying to get together, there's a lot of miscommunications and misunderstandings. There's some people that see it one way, and there's other people that see it a different way, and I totally get it. Everybody's not gonna be on the same playing field and be cool with it or whatever the case is, so I get it. But it is what it is. I'm definitely going to try to see if I could try to make that happen. Again, shout out to Juan Rambo. If you guys want your comments read for next week, remember, go to my YouTube page under this episode, comment what you comment, you know, so, and I'll definitely read it for next week. You feel what I'm saying? Now, moving on to the main, no, let me stop. Moving on to one of my topics. Giving you guys a update on Fresh and Fit. So for those who don't know, Fresh and Fit is a podcast. I did a YouTube video on them. I pretty much break it down how it started or whatever the case is, but I'm not gonna go into that right now. I'm gonna give you guys an update. Now, their situation, first of all, I think nothing's gonna happen to their channel. They're losing subscribers now, but they'll definitely gain those things back up. But their situation is a very, very important learning lesson for anybody getting notoriety, moving up in the game, and all that. Very huge learning lesson, which means that not everyone is meant to be talked about, and also don't get in your feelings. Don't come with female energy. That's a very big learning lesson, because, and also practice what you preach. If you're talking about we're here to give you advice on how to pick up women and how the female mind works and valuing yourself as a man, shout out to ya. That's actually really important things for men to do, because there's no safe space for men. Shout out to ya. But practice what you preach, homie. They had a whole a 4-hour live stream just breaking down all the allegations that were pressed upon them, and that, one, cleared up a lot, and two, put a huge hole into their talking points. Now, this is what I'm gonna say. That live stream, to me, made them look like big frauds, put a big X in their name, you know what I'm saying? And should not be taken serious whatsoever. O'Shea Du Jackson said that they're out of the manosphere. They shouldn't be taken serious. He knows some things behind the scenes that he doesn't want to say, but he's putting those warning shots out there. Okay. All right. There's other people that's rocking with them. That's cool. My opinion is, you're supposed to be, men advice and hooking up with shorties and all that other stuff. why would you discredit everything what you guys do from a text message that you implemented? A fitness shorty came out with a text message saying that, hey, he basically said, yo, let's collab, da. He was shooting his shot. And then randomly, wasn't even smooth with it, just randomly goes and says, yo, I wanna collab, but I don't wanna do nothing platonic. Just being straight up and honest. What? First of all, women want honesty, that's 100% true. But you gotta be smooth with it. You just don't go out of nowhere, try to shoot your shot, and then just randomly, out off the cuff, just talk about some dumbass. Like, come on, man. Y'all supposed to be pickup artists, right? Y'all supposed to know how to be smooth with it. That makes no sense. You didn't prove anything. What y'all proved was Myron doesn't know how to get shorties. That's what you proved. What you proved was Myron doesn't know anything about game. That's what he proved. That's what that whole thing proved. It proved that y'all should not be paying these people no advice, Nathan, for picking up shorties whatsoever. They obviously don't know. Obviously. You using the show as a way to put your foot in the door to get shorties? Come on, man. Are you serious? That's not player. That's not smooth. Nothing. If you're trying to shoot your shot, at least say, yo, you want to collab, blah, 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 you single? Listen, I've been eyeing you for a while. Yo, let's see if we could try to, do something together, after the program, this and this and this. I'll take you around Miami. Something like that. Try to be smooth with it. Just gonna be straight up, like, you can tell. And one thing I will say, I'm gonna go to the whole Allende part. You can tell Myron is too analytical. He's a nerd. You can tell. You can definitely tell. He's too analytical. He's a nerd. When he talks about stats to these women, you can tell that he isn't smooth with it. He's just like, well, 37% of women are married and they don't bring no assets to the table. Like, what? Dude, calm down. Just chill out. Say what you gotta say. After they finish and be like, well, I disagree because, 30% of women, what you think about that? You know what I'm saying? Well, 47%. Like, calm down, dude. You're nerding this whole thing up. Calm down. That's cool. You want Fran Castle chicks? All right, cool. Some of them deserve it. I'm not lying on that. Some of them deserve it, but I'm telling you right now, their approach is trash. Their approach is trash. Their idea concept, brilliant. First of all, I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all. What makes that show is not the stats. It's not their personality. It's not the funny chef hats. It's not the funny caps that they have on when shorties are capping. You don't gotta put props on, homie. Chill out. You can tell that you're forcing it. You know what I'm saying? It's not the robbing ski masks with fake guns. Like the video, relax. It's not that. First of all, that's random. Chill out. Y'all look like y'all autistic. Chill out. That's what makes a show. One is a studio. I gotta be honest. One is a studio. Looks professional as hell. Shout out to y'all. One is a studio. One is a studio. Shout out to y'all. Professional as hell. Two is the quality. Quality, professional as hell. Shout out to y'all once again. Number 3 is the women. The women y'all be bringing on is what makes the show. When y'all both are on y'all personalities, Fresh and Fit's personalities do not carry the show. I'm being honest. And on top of that, let's be honest, even though it's a male space, male self space, there's a lot of simps pretending to be alphas. That's the reason why their numbers shoot up whenever shorties are around. We gotta be honest. We gotta be honest. Now, they had a situation with a certain former former employee named Allende. First of all, brother looks like he lives at the gym. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? Named Allende. And he came out with a bunch of claims talking about he's the one with the ideas of the shorties. Okay. He's the one with the ideas for certain things of the show and stuff. Okay, cool. And he basically was saying that Myron is the main person messing everything up. Okay. I've seen Allende in a few interviews now, and I have to be honest. Allende, you can feel the authenticity of Allende. I hope I'm not mispronouncing the brother's name wrong. You can feel the smoothness coming out of this brother. You know what I'm saying? You can feel it. With Myron, like Fresh and Fit, catchy name, cool. I've seen some people call them simp and shit. All right, whatever, you know. But you don't get that authenticity when they talk to women like you do with Allende. Allende is smooth. You can tell that he's calculated, and you can tell that he has experience with talking to women. I'm sorry, you might get that a little bit with Fresh. You know, the one that looks like a Nigerian scammer. You might get that a little bit with Fresh. But Myron, on the other hand, I'm sorry, homie is stiff as hell. There's no smoothness whatsoever when it comes to him. And that's the reason why I believe that once the show got popping, he started bringing a bunch of shorties around, trying to use that as a way to like, yo, I'm gonna leverage this so I can smash. Isn't that the reason he might gotten a OnlyFans shorty pregnant or something like that? Homie doesn't know what he's talking about, and he ain't living what he's preaching. You know what I'm saying? What Jay-Z said? Is it Uchi Wale Wale or is it one mic? Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Which one is it? Which one? Everything that you say, everything that he says doesn't mean that it's nice. Just because he wears a kufi doesn't mean that he's bright. Come on now. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And on top of that, Allende goes up in there and bum rushes the studio. Basically exposes Myron for a big part. Exposes him to being buns. You can tell. You can tell. Exposes dude for being buns. And that was a little, first of all, that was a little foul on Myron's part. Grabbing the gat, telling him to come in. In Florida, for those who don't know, they got this little castle doctrine, stand your ground law. If you feel threatened, in your home or out your home, and you have a gat with you, and you feel threatened for your life, you have the right to kill somebody and you won't get arrested. Look at Zimmerman. You know what I'm saying? Myron knew that. And that's why he kept on inviting homie in. Homie already stepped in to your crib twice. You ain't gonna defend your home, homie? Come on now. Come on now. That's wild. That's why this is the perfect example of someone pulling your coat. Perfect example of someone pulling your coat. You know what I'm saying? Myron over here looking like a Taliban trainee. You know what I'm saying? He got his coat pulled. You feel me? And that's why they're losing subscribers. It went from 420 something all the way down to like 390 something. And they're still going down. But they're gonna recover. We've seen this before. People recover. It is what it is. But this is what happens when you lack authenticity. The brother Allende, I hope I'm pronouncing the brother's name right. The brother Allende, you can tell the credibility oozing out of him. You can tell. The Fresh and Fit dudes, outside of the, is it Fresh, the Nigerian scammer dude? Outside of that, I don't believe Myron's really pulling what he's pulling. I think that joint is all cap. I think that's all cap. Stop the cap. I believe that shit is all cap. I'm gonna keep it 100. I think it's all cap. I don't believe what they preach. I don't. Because that 4-hour, we're gonna clear the air and all that other stuff. That little 4-hour joint, you basically shot yourself in the foot twice. Well, Myron really shot himself in the foot twice and recovered once. Shot himself in the foot once by that whole text message thing. Shorty basically proved, he proved everything Shorty said. It don't matter what she tried to use or whatever the case is. Listen, he basically proved everything Shorty said. He's using the show trying to smash Shorties. The other one that he recovered from the whole stripper Shorty that tried to, they try to do this. Yeah, okay, he recovered from that one, yeah. But then he shot himself in the foot again with the whole pregnancy scare. Listen, I don't believe Shorty's pregnant whatsoever, but he shouldn't even put himself in that position if he knew game. According to him, he knows game, and 30% of women don't do it. So you know all these stats, but you can't live what you preach, bro? Come on now. That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense, but let me know what y'all think. Anyway, moving on to the next topic, an update on Brother Polight. Now, apparently people were sending me clips on Brother Polight, how he got out and he was trying to basically talk his way in out of the whole situation that he was facing. Listen, there's a YouTuber out there, I forgot her name, but if y'all probably look it up, like put lawyer breaks down Brother Polight or something like that. This shorty's a lawyer, all right? I believe she's a lawyer in New York or something like that, but she's a lawyer. And she breaks down Brother Polight's whole arrest. Mind you, I don't know nothing about the law, but she broke it down so digestible where I became an expert. I said, oh, shit. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So apparently, the reason why he got arrested is because the DNA matched. That's the only reason. She broke it down lovely. She basically said, once the victim goes into the police station to claim a report, the detectives work their magic. They gather the evidence which is the DNA. Now that gives them the right to ask for a DNA sample. Once they get the DNA sample, if it doesn't come back with a match, case closed, it doesn't go anywhere. If it comes back with a match, that's when they pursue with what they gotta go with. And guess what? The reason why he got arrested is because the DNA came back with a match. Now, allegedly, the story goes that she got the DNA there through sexy time type of events. I don't know if that's true. There's been plenty of stories of women getting dudes' dirty drawers, putting it on their clothes, and going to police stations and all that, saying, yo, I'm a victim, I'm violated. You know what I mean? And it comes back positive. You feel me? I've seen stories like that. I've seen stories where the guy gets off scot-free because a shorty was lying about it. I also seen stories where the guy basically proved that he ain't do anything, but DNA came back positive. How the DNA got there, we don't know. We don't know. Only person that knows is Grand Universe. You know what I mean? That's about it. But that's the only reason why he will be in jail. If Dana, which is DNA, comes back with a match. Now, you know, I don't know too much who Dr. York is, to be honest, but apparently he isn't new to these type of accusations. And the ironic part about it is Dr. York is real close with Brother Polight. So y'all could probably match the two up. Y'all could tell me what y'all think. Is he really guilty? Is he really innocent? I don't know. What I am saying is it Uchi Wale Wale or is it one Mike? That's all I gotta say. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be honest, I got nothing against the conscious community, but there's a lot of hypocrisy, double talk, and things that don't line up in the conscious community. Again, I am an outsider from it. I'm not saying that I am, you know, I should be pointing the finger. I'm not saying that. I just find it a little funny style. That's it. I just find it a little funny style, and the fact that this dude, outside of all the scams he did, outside of everything that he did, he's still getting supporters. Come on now. Just because, you know, he says a couple of things doesn't mean that he's nice. Just because he wears a kufi doesn't mean that he's bright. you feel me? It's just weird. That's all I'm saying. It's just weird. There's a lot of righteous preachers out here that you can see right through it. They talk real good, but they ain't really producing anything. You know what I'm saying? And they like to move the goalposts when it comes to like producing type of stuff. When people come up to them and check them, yo, why you gotta, you know, then they'll be like, why haven't you done anything? Come on now, that's moving the goalposts. Come on now. But it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Is it right? Is it wrong? What y'all think? You know what I'm saying? What y'all think? Anyway, moving on to my next topic. The Costco black adopted girl abuse. Now, there's been a video that went viral, right? It was a Latina. She recorded a video of an adopted black girl that's part of a white family. And according to the Latina, the black girl told her and said, I'm being abused. I don't know in which way, either sexually or I don't know, but she said that I'm being abused, and the Latina decided to record it, right? And, you know, put it out on social media. It blew up and stuff to the point where the police said, we're going to investigate. This isn't right. We're going to investigate, which they should. Okay, cool. They investigated. Then a couple of days later, the police comes back and says, it's a hoax. None of this is happening. Nothing's actually happening. the girl is fine. Okay. The girl is fine. Okay. What investigation did y'all do? You know what I'm saying? It was very vague. And then out of nowhere, the latest update is Angelica Martinez, which is the name of the Latina. By the way, I'm gonna be putting the link of the article that I found, wrote up on my website, radicallatino.com. Go check it out and become better, you know, better people with this. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so shorty, Angelica Martinez, right? She gets arrested. She gets arrested. You know what I'm saying? She gets arrested, and she's like, why am I getting arrested? Well, she got arrested for filing a false police report. Isn't that interesting? She got arrested for filing a false police report. Oh my God. Wow. So basically, you know, that video is getting taken down everywhere, left and right. She got released from jail and basically put out a GoFundMe for her lawyer fees. And she even put out a video talking about, listen, I got arrested and stuff like that. They taking, you know, they talking about fake police report, but this is what the girl told me. They're trying to cover this up, blah, blah, blah. And that video is gone. That video right there is gone, by the way. Don't know what's going on. They're doing a really good job in covering it up. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this once. When it comes to black and brown unity, when it comes to actually pointing the finger at white folks, I'm sorry, not even white folks, white supremacists, harming non-white people, best believe the system is going to get on code. Best believe the system is going to get on code. The fact that this sister, you know, this Latina, recorded it, put it out, and it went crazy, and the little weak ass investigation didn't come up with anything, says a lot. It speaks to a higher truth. It speaks to a cover-up. And this is what white supremacy does. White supremacy protects itself. You feel me? This is what it does. That Latina could have just walked away, ignored it. Oh, this shorty is weird. You know what I mean? But if you look at the video, you see that the black girl, she's out of it. She's staring down, staring at the food. She's not even eating. She's dressed different from the other kids. That says a lot. And maybe the Latina, maybe the shorty was, you know, she was bugging out. Maybe. But there's a lot more evidence out here that shows white adopted parents harming non-white people. Anybody remembers the Duante Hart, I believe, the little boy that was captured crying, hugging a cop, and they started circulating that image everywhere, like 2014, somewhere around there. Anybody remember that? Well, guess what? They're white adopted parents who were basically both women, both lesbian women, and don't worry about it, that had nothing to do with no LGBT thing. But them women decided to commit murder-suicide. They drove the goddamn car off a cliff and killed everyone in that whip. Everyone. Killed everyone. And this happened in California. I believe in 2017 or 2018, somewhere around there. Then, when the news started going like, oh my God, this is crazy. What happened? Why did this happen? Guess what? The neighbors came out and said, well, you know, something was happening with them kids. They was always walking around here begging for food, saying that they were starving and hungry. Come on now. And nobody reported that. That speaks to a higher truth. That speaks to white supremacy protecting itself. That says a lot. It says a lot. And what it really says even more, and what it really points out to, is these people, these white supremacists out here, taking non-white people's lives as a joke. That's what it says. That's what it says. I'm gonna give you guys a story that a personal friend of mine told me. She used to go out with a Latin boy, you know, a Latin kid, right? A Latino. I think he was like Peruvian and Central American. I forgot what it was, but Costa Rican, something like that. Anyway, he was adopted by white folks. And growing up with them, he adopted weird mannerisms for some reason, to the point where he even asked my friend, hey, if you ever slept with black guys, if you did, I'm not gonna be with you. You only hear white men saying that because they feel like if especially a white woman slept with black guys, they're unpure now. They're tainted somehow. You know what I mean? This is what he would tell my friend, and she found that very odd and peculiar. She was like, what the fuck? That's weird. You know what I'm saying? Also, he would show certain racial undertones about certain people. Mind you, my friend is way darker than me, and he will even try to say that, call her a black ghetto, you know what I mean? A black, you know what I'm saying? While they were smashing, she's like, what the hell is all of this? This is weird. You know what I'm saying? It was weird. It was weird. So, the last thing that homie did, that she was like, what the hell is going on? Was that he wanted to isolate her from any non-white people and only be with white folks because he was always around white folks, right? And it was the last straw for her. And one time I just called her up for some advice or whatever, and she just, after she was finished with me, I told her, hey, what's up with you? And she told me this whole thing. I was like, whoa. And I kind of broke it down to her. I'm like, I believe this is what's going on. And when I was saying these things, she opened her eyes. She was like, dude, I think you're right. I think you're right. Because his parents, you know, they adopted him. And I'm telling you, when non-white people grow up in white supremacist culture, they stop adopting the traits of white supremacy. On top of that, their little minds is confused. They believe that they white themselves, and on top of that, they're probably getting abused and all that. This is not a rare thing. This is a very common thing within white supremacists who adopt, you know, non-white kids. This is a common thing. They get abused mentally, physically. You know, they start adopting these weird traditions and thought customs and everything. So it speaks to a larger truth. It speaks to a larger truth. And we should definitely try to, you know, break that down and tap into that, because this isn't something that is new. You know what I'm saying? It isn't something that is new. But Anyway, moving on to my main topic. All people of color are prisoners of war. What do I mean by that? Shout out to Nelly Fuller Jr. He's the one that I heard come up with this concept, right? Basically, the concept is, and which I agree with, everybody that is classified as non-white, meaning society classifies you as non-white, not what you classify yourself. You know, some of us got mental disorders out here, but it is what it is. Classifies you as non-white, meaning black, brown, yellow, beige, tan, even light skin, because phenotypically there's a lot of light skin Latin people out here, and also some black folks, and phenotypically you don't look white, you know what I'm saying? So you still in the same bag, you feel me? Are prisoners of war. What is the prison? White supremacy. That's what the prison is, white supremacy. And what war are we fighting? Is the war of white supremacy. The thing is that we have to understand, we live in a captive society. There's certain things and privileges and benefits that most of us do not get benefits for or apply for. You know, little trinkets here and there does not count. I understand the whole light skin privilege thing. I get it. There's even female privilege. Those are small trinkets in the grand scheme of things, because those small trinkets do not tip the scale for white supremacy. All right? So the concept goes that we are prisoners of war. And within the prisoners of war, we are controlled, maintained, and abused within that prison. Now, anybody who's been locked up understands the concept of prison. Now, there's a lot of people in prison that speaks and thinks all this other mumbo jumbo stuff, talking about sovereign citizen here, I'm a king, I'm gonna do this. Those are ways to get out of the reality of your victimization. Get out of the reality that you are a prisoner of war. Getting out of the reality that you live under a system of white supremacy and there's nothing you can do about it, because there is one set of people that control you and tell you what to do and say and act. This is a fact. This is a fact. We couldn't lie to each other and say whatever we want to say. At the end of the day, we are prisoners of war. Now, if you look at any other prisoner of war type of scenarios, you'll see that it applies to stuff that's happening now. Now, again, anybody that has been locked up knows that some people come up with like weird names even now that's outside of prison, talking about I'm a king, I'm this, I'm that, and all that other stuff, original man, blah blah blah. That's all cool and that all sounds good. At the end of the day, we are controlled and dominated by a system called white supremacy. The reason why certain people do those type of things, it's not all, but I'm just saying certain people do those type of things, is to get out of the realization of white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? It's like a battered wife that doesn't want to acknowledge and admit that she's in an abusive relationship. So she's gonna come up with cute little euphemisms and cute little sayings that will make her feel mentally okay with the situation that's happening. Because if she goes out and accepts and admits that she's being physically abused, that's when you start heading the problem and seeing the problem head on. That's when realization is gonna hit and you're gonna say, yeah, I got an issue. Something needs to happen. You feel me? Something needs to stop. You know what I'm saying? Because human condition is that whenever we see issues and problems, our brain automatically goes in solution mode and tries to solve it. The thing is, this system of white supremacy, this is an irrational, it's a man-made system. So there is little to no effort that we can do outside of fighting for justice in an unjust system. You know what I'm saying? So being a prisoner of war means that there's some benefits that we don't gravitate towards, nor benefit from, nor does it come our way. For example, the last story I just talked about. That Latina got locked up for claiming a false police report. Now, how many times, like I said that before, and I'm gonna say it again. How many times have we seen the barbecue Beckys, the permanent Patties, the apartment Susans, and all the other Karen videos on the internet to Black and Latin people, and nothing happens to these people when they call the cops and make fake police reports? Mind you, this is on video, so lack of evidence could go out the window with this one. This is on video. How many times have we seen that? How many times have we seen white folks get away with stuff that we all say, if Black people did it, that would have never happened? You know what people say from the whole January 6th insurrection? You know what people say? If Black folks did it, they would have all got shot. You know why people say that? Because systematically in society, we all know that we live in a system of white supremacy. We all know that there's certain rules that goes for a certain group of people. We cannot say with the same breath white supremacy doesn't exist, but then when we see white folks go into the Capitol and nobody's get clapped up just by only one person, but besides that nobody gets clapped up, and people getting slaps on the wrist left and right, we cannot say in the same breath that if that was Black folks, that would have never happened. I thought you said white supremacy doesn't exist. That doesn't make any sense. You feel what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. The fact that majority of us know that there's a system out here and only some of us are willing to fight against that system says a lot. There was a study, actually not a study, it was like a social experiment, small social experiment, where this white lady goes out and does this like a blue eye test, right? Or whatever the case is. I forgot her name. I think it was a Jane something, whatever. But anyway, she does a blue eye test. But before she conducts this test, she gives a speech, and the speech is definitely about race. And she says one thing, which I challenge you. I challenge y'all to perform this amongst your white buddies or some of your Latin buddies and stuff like that, right? Because some of Latin people got that white supremacist mindset, not knowing that they get victimized too. You know what I'm saying? So she says in the speech, if you think racism doesn't exist and you think that this is all just being made up, at a show of hands, how many of you will want to switch places with a Black person? Nobody raises their hand. Nobody rolls their hand. The reason because is that she knows, and everybody knows, and she even says it. The reason why nobody rolls their hand is because you know what happens to Black people. You know what happens to non-white people in this country, and you choose to ignore it. Once again, this is the conversation that white America never wants to have. This is the conversation that white America refuses to talk about. And the more that we refuse to talk about, the more problems we're going to have. Again, it's like a bad relationship. when certain factors in a relationship isn't being met, there's going to be some resentment. And when resentment comes in, everything else comes in. Abuse, mental, physical, emotional, lack of communication, and all this other stuff. We got to understand, we have to understand that in the system of white supremacy, we are prisoners of war. Your uniform is your non-whiteness. Regardless of whatever you think about yourself, your uniform is your non-whiteness. That's what your uniform is. If anybody been to war, the last thing you want to do is attract attention to yourself. That's the last thing you want to do. And if you see the enemy, the first thing you do is get in position, into battle position, and try to find an exit strategy. Anybody that's been to war knows this. As prisoners of war in a system of white supremacy, we have to know and understand that once we encounter a victimizer and they tell us, don't do this, boy, or yada 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 yada, you best believe y'all better listen, because that person has a privilege that we do not have. That person can kill with immunity. With impunity. They can kill with impunity and nothing will happen. We do not have that luxury. We do not have that privilege, nor do we have the benefit to do so. There's been plenty of cases where white folks killed non-white people on camera, and guess what? Scot-free. Scot-free. Why? Because we are prisoners of war. This is what we gotta understand. In a prison, there's gonna be some trinkets and some people with a little bit more freedom in the prison. That doesn't mean anything. Our goal is trying to get out of that prison. Some people are comfortable within that prison system and they go about their daily lives. Other people know that they're in the prison system but lie to themselves with cockamamie made up history BS to try to downplay the trauma of their victimization in this prison. And there's other people who are revolutionaries, who are part of power groups that are planning to get out and dismantle this prison system. Now, some people might say, well, how can you say we non-white people live in the prison, but there's rich black folks, there's rich athletes? That doesn't mean anything. In a prison, there's people that's going to have a little bit more freedom than the rest of us. There's going to be people that's going to have a little bit more privilege than the rest of us. That doesn't mean anything. We still have that prison uniform. That means that we are in that prison. That doesn't mean anything, okay? The fact that there's some rich black folks that y'all people could point out does not negate what I'm saying. Just because there's certain people that made it does not negate what I'm saying. There's even certain people that might say, well, white folks are in the prison too. I've been to prison. I see white folks. You know, those are whataboutism motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I could care less about that. At the end of the day, there's going to be people that's going to have way more privilege and status, but are in that prison system. There's a bracket. And we got to understand that. talking about what about isms isn't being productive and isn't going to solve what is happening. What about isms doesn't mean anything. What about isms isn't much. You're just going back to square one. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all just going back to square one. We should not be dealing with what about isms. We should be dealing with practicality. Let's settle here and talk this thing out practical. Let's break this whole thing down practical and see how we can get out of here. How we can maneuver. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us deny the fact that we're prisoners of war. A lot of us deny the fact and say, well, if y'all don't do this, then this wouldn't happen. And there's plenty of examples. White folks doing the same thing. And those, that whole comply type of nonsense doesn't apply to them. They can literally shoot back at cops. Nothing will happen to them. You know what I'm saying? Not what happened to them. We just go back to our car. We're getting shot in the back of our head. Now we're paralyzed. You feel me? That's what it is. We're prisoners of war, and this is something we have to understand. This is something we have to be real about. We are prisoners of war. Once we start understanding that we are prisoners of war, that's when we'll start finding solutions. That's when we'll start coming together and finding out solutions. That whole whataboutism goes out the window once we accept the fact that we are prisoners of war. It's a hard, bitter pill to swallow. I know that. But guess what? Sometimes we gotta take a little bit of vinegar with the medicine. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Now, just let me know what you guys think about this episode. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree, yada, 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 and all that. Remember, this episode was sponsored by my merch store. You know what I'm saying? Go to my merch store, radicallatino.com. Also for news articles, go to my website, radicallatino.com. Check out the news portion. I'm putting out articles every day. Sometimes if I don't, it's because it's a slow news week, or some of the articles or some of the news sort things, it's not really intriguing for me. You know what I mean? But if you guys want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, hit me up, radical_Latino_. Hit me up there. I'll be on all social medias. You know what I mean? Also, your boy's on TikTok, so just follow me there if you guys want, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I barely go on it, but anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna leave y'all with two of my favorite quotes. One is, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. And if black and brown unity doesn't occur in my lifetime, I might not change the world, but I might inspire the mind that will. With that being said, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace.